What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, 4th edition, our Rise of the Forsaken campaign. I, of course, am joined once again by the Unfortunate Fellowship, as I've named them, Mr. Jumbo Smooth and Mr. Doobie 209. If you'd like to briefly introduce yourselves, boys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf. I'm a miner. I found out I have a daughter back in Sealburg. Excited about it. Found a pit fighting ring.
You did.
Exciting stuff. Can't wait to see where the adventure takes us.
Awesome.
What's going on, guys? Doobie209 here, playing Seamus McGreedy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty excited about betting money against and on Marius in that fighting pit. Maybe throw a fight here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
convince him to throw a
Go down in a
fight. Why
second.
not? Awesome.
We'll get rich together.
And of course, I am your GM for tonight, Mr. Jumbo Thick. But regardless, let's just get into this, boys. Let's just jump right in. I'm ready to go. I feel like it's been a while since we've played some Warhammer. Been a little bit over a week. I'm itching for it. I know you guys are as well. So to recap where we left off, a brief recap. Essentially, you guys returned from your various escapades from far off Nippon, managed to make it back to Sealburg. Like we found out, Marius has a daughter now, Priscilla. And you have now taken up residence as an official miner at the Sealburg Mining Company after all these years.
Yeah.
You finally made it. You finally made it to miner. You guys have actually been in town for a full year, so keep that in mind. When you ask questions or anything like that, you can ask me, like, hey, do I know about this? And then we'll kind of role play it and see how it goes. You recently, as well, Marius, had a bit of a terrible vision in our previous episode. Something that left you slightly, how would we call this? Fatigued in a way, perhaps exhausted. But, so stuff happened with that. You saw the figure with the horned helmet as well as some possible cultists that you spied with a very good roll. It is raining currently. Well, not raining. It is darkening. It's late afternoon, almost night, and you were on your way back to the Thaggy. Meanwhile, Seamus likewise ended his work day somewhat, if a road warden has an official work day, out in the woods, returning from apparently a very successful either raid or hunt of some of the local bandits of the leader known as Three Fingers. You had a collection of heads on your horse and dragging a man behind you. You passed him off to your minions, as it was, your lackeys. Do you remember their names, Seamus?
I do. Let me pull up my notes.
Pull up your notes.
Let me pull up my notes here.
See if you get some bonus points here.
It might take a little bit here. All right. Let's see. I gotta find where those notes are.
Come on now.
Hey,
you're letting me down.
You know what? Keep going. I'll chime in when I find the notes.
Well, to your two minions, whom I'm probably going to say their names before you find your notes, were with you. They basically asked for your permission to have their way with Helga, who you passed off without a moment's notice. Just wanted to get rid of her as quickly as possible. I did forget to mention to you, Seamus, since you have been to the Silk Canary, that all the women inside that are working, because there are other women that are like waitresses and things like that. It's a very busy establishment. all the women that are working wear masks while they are working. So that way you can't exactly discern who's who without really talking to them and getting to know them. As well as like some kind of almost see-through, like purple, not so much cloth, but silk garments over their bodies, with just their undergarments underneath it. And the masks
I thought it was yellow cloth.
Yellow cloth, excuse me.
Yeah.
You're right. It's not purple, it's yellow.
Yeah.
The masks are also in the shape of a bird, of a canary. Or something like a canary. But yes, I did forget to mention that last time. So now you know. Where was I? Oh, yes. So they convinced you. You convinced them that they could have their way with her. You didn't care less about her, despite all of the brutal abuse that you've had at her hands, especially in the last episode. You might be riding that horse a little flinching going on every bump you go over. But regardless, they also offered to take the man back to camp for an interrogation. And right as that happened, you were, I wouldn't say visited, you were all of a sudden assailed by two figures riding horses, skeletal steeds, and the figures were draped in long, dark robes, and of course they were skeletons underneath them as the robes billowed outwards. So that's pretty much what happened. Did I miss any high notes from you two?
Marius bought something
Yes, you did buy a... What did you buy,
from
Marius?
Herbert Sachs.
Herbert Sachs. Yes, indeed.
I bought
Was it Herbert Sachs?
Yes, it was. I bought accelerant.
Yes, you did buy accelerant, which I'm assuming you're going to use to make fire bombs of some kind.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yes. You met Mr. Herbert Sachs. I did remember that. And then if memory does serve, since it has been a little while, Seamus, you were also prepositioned by one Mr. Gold to perhaps allow some of his caravans that are coming through to simply pass without a inspection. And there might be some extra coin in it for you. And and of course Marius found the pit fighting ring, which we went over.
Yeah.
There was a whole Fight Club moment. It was fantastic. So regardless, all right. So that brings us up to speed, and we are actually going to pick up with Seamus McCready. Are you ready, Seamus?
I am ready.
Ready and willing, I assume. So, Seamus. The figures on the horses, which were just moments before the two men that were following you, Bertrand and Mr. Giggles, or just Giggles, as you know him. Just Giggles, as you know him. But their forms, either they form shifted or something that's happened. You have no idea what's going on. The woods around you have grown even darker. So dark that you can't see more than a few feet around you. Your horse is getting kind of agitated. Rachel does not like what is happening. She's reacting to what is happening. The figures on top of the horse, the skeletal visages underneath the cloaks, open their mouths in like a silent scream. And as they do, a large scythe erupts into both of their hands. Both figures. It's a large two-handed scythe, and the top of the scythe is glowing an ethereal green. And they clutch it, and they are moving in your direction. What would you like to do, Seamus?
Turn Rachel around and hightail it out of there.
Okay, give me a ride check.
Yeah, first roll in that. That is a 40 out of 37.
Okay, you can either re-roll if you'd like, or you can just use a fortune to just pass if you want.
Yes, I'll use that fortune to pass.
Okay, so you have a success. So Rachel is not used to. She's starting to panic. You did not spend any time training her, so she's just a basic horse. So I would assume she has some basic commands. We'll go over that, but needless to say, she's becoming quite terrified at the specters that are coming for you, just seemingly out of the air. You spin your horse around and begin. Which direction are you attempting to move in?
I'd follow the trail, like whatever the opposite direction is.
Like I said, it has gotten extremely dim. You can only see about 10 feet around you. The rest of it is just blackness. Inky blackness.
I'll attempt to turn just 180 and go.
Okay, go ahead and make me an intelligence test, Seamus, and we'll see how this fares.
Oh, I'm good at intelligence. Oh yeah, 34 out of 41.
Oh man, good. Okay. All right, so you spin Rachel around, judging where you think the trail is that's going to lead you back to town, and just get her moving as quickly as you can. A quick jerk with your heels digging into her sides, and she kind of whinnies for a second and begins moving very quickly. The wind whipping your hair behind you. As the figures are chasing you, they are still coming, and it looks like they might outpace you within moments.
Oof.
What would you like to do, Seamus?
We're gonna ride like the wind and speed up.
You're just gonna keep riding?
Yep. Keep
okay. The path is becoming treacherous. That you would, even with that intelligence check, you know that there is a bend coming up. You're not exactly sure how far, but there is a bend in the road. And should you not want to run into the trees, you will have to make a hell of a ride test. This will be a hard test at -20.
Well, yeah, I don't want to run into a tree. I've done that before. All right, so knowing that this bend is coming and it's inky black around me,
It is.
I will turn Rachel back around. Pull out my sword.
Okay. You're drawing your sword.
Oh yeah.
I'll draw the sword. Look at those death demons in the face.
Uh-huh.
I'll say, all right, let's do this. And I'll kick my heels into her sides and run at him.
All right. You're running back towards them. Okay. Roll me some initiative, Seamus.
And I'm screaming the whole time. Ah!
Last samurai style.
Initiative, that is a 10.
A 10. Okay. All right. Seamus, you are the first to move. The two riders are moving quickly in your direction. They're both about equal parts distance-wise from you. There's one that's slightly more in the lead from the other, just barely. I'm assuming you want to move in and attempt a strike.
Yes.
Okay, since you're both mounted, combat kind of just goes back to normal. There are different rules for mounted combat. That we'll get into, I'm sure. But since you're both mounted, you can either attack the other person on the mount at just a normal roll, or you can attack the horse. There is that option. It's your choice. What would you like to do?
What are the rules for attacking the horse? Is it a normal?
I believe it's just a normal roll. Yeah, it's just normal.
All right. Yeah, I'll run in, feint high, and then cut low and attack the horse.
Okay. And let me double check the mounted. You're both mounted, so I would think it would be normal. Yeah, it's got to be normal. Yeah, it is. Okay. We'll go with that. Go ahead and make a roll.
Ooh, I got an 8.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, at 8.
So,
You definitely... where are you trying to cut this man?
I'll kind of faint high like I'm going to hit him, and then go low and probably just like swipe my sword across like the horse's chest or like neck area.
And then, are you hitting the horse or are you hitting the man?
Yeah. I'm going after the horse.
Are you going after the horse? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. How much damage did you just do by chance?
Let's see here. So it is 4 plus my strength. So that is 7 points. And then in terms of success levels, it was
success.
I rolled an 8 out of 55.
Out of 55, so 4 levels. Okay, yeah. So that's going to be 12. Yeah, 12. 12 wounds. Not bad at all. You slice out, and the horse screams in pain like a normal horse. Not the skeletal steed that it appears to be. And it retreats from you. And as this happens, Seamus, blood soaks the blade and you feel a surge of energy into your body. And the darkness begins to fade from around you. And suddenly you notice that you haven't moved. You haven't been running. The mad chase that you thought was happening was not happening at all. You were still in the somewhat clearing that you thought you were leaving your men behind in. However, your blade is drawn and it is slick with blood. And you hear, Seamus! Seamus, what happened? And then you have the panicked gasps of Bertrand as the grizzled face of the hardened road warden looks like he's in shock, and he looks very terrified of you in particular.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Bertram. I've got some type of PTSD from that. That's how
PTSD. That good old PTSD. Bertrand looks just he just looks in shock, and his face is a little white. And Seamus, you glance down and you can hear giggles, huh, 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 and it's more of a nervous laughter than his typical laughter. And you can see the horses are starting to back away, and lying before you is the prisoner that they were securing and dragging away, and his throat has been slit to the bone. Mm-hmm. And your blade is in your hand, dripping with blood. So you could assume that at some point you walked over to this man and just slit his throat.
Mm.
And he is stone cold dead. And Bertrand pipes up, "Boss, you had green flame in your eyes."
Who said that? Did Giggle say that?
Bertrand.
Bertrand?
Mm-hmm.
Bertrand, you're just seeing things. My eyes are green, but there's no green fire in them.
He looks quite pale. Boss was... Well, we'll say he was trying to make a break for it, right, Giggles? And Giggles is...
Aye. That's why I like you boys. You boys are smart, and I'll bend down and pick up that prisoner's head.
It's still attached, by the spine, just not very much. It's like dangling at an odd angle. You could hack. You finish it off. You just clean hack. The head falls free. Are you gonna toss it into the sack that you have all the other heads in?
Yes.
Toss it in the sack, which is attached to Bertrand's horse at this point, because they were going to be taking your bounty back to camp. Is there anything you want to impart to them?
So remember, lads, making a break for it, and I'll make sure to reward you later.
Yes. Yes, boss.
Best not mention this to Velkin.
Of course, sir. Of course. Making a break for it, sir. Making a break for it. Giggles, untie him. Leave the body. And they begin preparing to kind of stage the scene for you as it was. And are you just going to leave them to do their work? Are you going to head into town, or what are you doing in this moment?
Yeah, I'll head into town. I trust those guys to do what I tell them.
All right. And with that, you mount Rachel and begin trotting off towards town, leaving a very grisly stain behind. And possibly a little discomfort of knowing that you acted out of turn. You are not in control of yourself. This has never happened to you before. And it should be quite concerning to Seamus that this is a possibility. And we will flip over to Marius Wolf at this point. So, Marius.
Oh, all right.
You just had stumbled out of your vision. You do have a point of exhaustion, and you do not feel well after the events that taken place. You were body checked by somebody coming by, and you are within a few feet of the door of the Silver Thaggy. What would you like to do, sir?
I'd probably stumble into the Thaggy.
Okay.
Try to sit down, get some rest.
Okay. As you stumble in, you, of course, the air is warm, the mead is flowing, the smells of beer and food waft at your senses. You open the door, slide your way in, and you see. You look probably a little disheveled. You did have a long days of work, and then on top of that, whatever the hell just happened to you happened. Patricia has a tray she's holding. She appears to be helping Sarah serving at the bar.
Priscilla,
excuse me. I said Patricia. Priscilla.
Yeah,
little Patricia she's got a smaller, not full size, a smaller version of one. And she's helping out.
My daughter's name is Priscilla.
Priscilla, it is. So she's helping out. She appears to be kind of running around, and she spots you, and doesn't say much. She doesn't. Matter of fact, she just kind of looks at you and then begins going back to her task. Sarah sees you and has a little concerned look on her face, and then begins setting out drinks for someone at another table. The bar is about as full as normal. An average night, an average crowd, if you would say so. Mostly locals and, of course, miners. There's even a few dwarfs in one of the corners. And you would recognize them from your time in the mines now, as these are apparently liaisons from Carrick Norn. That's about all that you've heard from the chatter in the mine. But they are actual dwarves in full garb, like chainmail, Not heavy like plate mail, but very sturdy looking dwarves indeed, and they're drinking in one of the corners. And Thordoom apparently is busying himself behind the bar, and he is personally taking food and drink to that table himself. You see him deliver some food and drink and then go back to the bar. And as he sees you walk in, "Ah, Marius, my boy! You look like you're on Moore's door."
I had quite the experience, Thornton. I might be on Moore's door.
Nothing a good ale can't fix. And motions for you to approach the bar.
I do so.
Okay. Have a seat. And he's on his stool. He gets on his stool, so he's at normal height. And he's pouring you a drink. Slams the mug on the bar. "Well, Marius, you've been an honest man these past year."
I've been trying, Dodo.
"What's this business that has you so haggard? Surely you can't throw a pick?"
I'm unsure what has happened. If I'm just fatigued or seen something. I kind of lean down and kind of whisper close to him. "Magical, Dodo."
Magic. I hate magic. Did I ever tell you about that blasted Elgi?
I believe you did, Thordum. Several times over.
Well, the knife ears, I tell you. Sorcerers, them all. Wizardly folk. Nothing good comes of sorcery. Nothing good comes of magic. Only good steel and strength of arms. And he's starting to get louder and louder. And the other dwarfs in the corner are kind of, if you glance over your shoulder, they're kind of nodding their heads in respect and reverence. they're kind of joining in. Everyone else in the bar is kind of used to Thordoom. They're not really paying him much attention. He kind of goes on like this for a minute, a couple minutes of this just rant about how horrible magic is. And during this conversation, his shirt opens up, which he's always dressed really nice, very fancy, kind of ostentatious clothing. And his shirt opens up, and his necklace falls into view, and it is that silver necklace with the very interesting rune carved on it that you see dangling there. And that's when I told him, I got a fist for you, boy! And he slaps you on the shoulder. And some of the other dwarves, you hear cackling behind you, and they like hold a mug up and start drinking.
I kind of whisper to him, or kind of lightly say to him, "Amberbelly, who are those Dawi over there?"
Best be mindful of them, young wolf. Those are emissaries of far-off Carrick Norn. They own these mountains. They've been leasing it to the Manlings.
Oh, I had no idea.
Come now, boy. Surely you know all of the mountains before us are property of the Karazankor. The domain of Carrick Norn.
I thought they was part of property of the Sealberg mine.
Let them think that. There'll always be Dawi mines. We just let the Manlings lease them, occasionally. Regardless, they are here to make inquiries about the, how should I put it, special shipments that have been coming out of the mine as of late. Or so I've heard. What do you know of star metal, boy?
I don't believe I've worked in that part of the mine. I've just seen certain individuals go in there.
Yes. Apparently, there's been quite the repository of star metal, grumreel, as we know it, in Khazalid. Many powerful arms and armors can be forged from such a metal, boy.
I've heard it's the strongest metal in our world here.
Of course it is! Forged by the Dawi. What else could it be? But the manlings of this settlement do not know how to shape it, how to mold it to perfection. And that is also part of the dealings that are underway. Possibly bringing in some good, fine dwarf labor. Get rid of that bastard Brandyfoot, that halfling shit. Get him out of the mine. Get some strong dwarfs in there. That's what I've been saying all these years. And you see some of the dwarves over there nodding their head in approval.
Well, I feel like Mr. Brandyfoot is a good master of the mine. He's treated me well.
He hawks and then spits at the floor at the mention of his name. Halfling fool. What do you know about mining? Nothing. And he's going to start going on another ramble about Brandyfoot now.
He's done really well over the past 8 years. No, that's fine. I'd probably try to call little Priscilla over.
Okay.
If I could.
You call Priscilla over, and you kind of are. How do you do it? Do you just kind of look at her, or what do you do exactly?
Ah, sweet girl. But
and
do
she,
you,
as
do
you
not have, do you,
go ahead.
Do you not come say hello to your father?
As you say, sweet girl, she looks over at you and kind of rolls her eyes. And she walks over to you. I'm busy, Marius.
I wish you wouldn't call me Marius.
That's your name.
I have been. Well, yes, it is, but I'm also your father.
Can I go now?
Certainly. I don't mean to slow you down.
And she immediately begins going back to work before you even finish your sentence.
I down my ale.
You down your ale.
Yeah.
The joys of fatherhood. You down your ale, slam the mug back down. Little froth. Manling. I can't say I know my way around children, but
She likes you, Thornton, better than she likes me.
of course, why wouldn't she? And then
I'm
he kind
a
of
father, too.
slaps his belly. You'll get there, boy. You'll get there. She'll turn around, I promise. And after this, Sarah comes walking up. Marius, you look terrible. What happened? Her fingers kind of trail across your shoulders.
It's best not to be said too in the open. Perhaps I'll tell you later tonight. It was quite unsettling.
Okay, well, just be careful. And Priscilla will... I've told her to call you father, but you know, just give her time.
I'll try.
And she will grab another set of ales from Thordoom as he's pouring them, and then begin distributing them throughout the bar. It's at this time, Marius, that you hear the door open. Not very loudly, just kind of barely cracks open to the thaggy, and you look over your shoulder, and a young boy comes stumbling in. And you recognize the boy immediately. You don't know his name. You recognize him from Mr. Gold's, in fact.
Okay.
And he looks like he's searching the crowd in the room. And then his eyes lock onto you at the bar, and he kind of, Matt, you're Marius, right? And he comes walking up. He seems to be probably about like 12, 13-ish.
I am, young master. What can I do for you?
Oh, thank God. I've been looking for you all over the place. Mr. Gold wouldn't be too pleased if I couldn't find you.
Keep your voice down, boy. Thordun does not like air gold.
What? What's this about gold? And he's and you hear
the hills, Thordun.
Okay. And then he just kind of turns around and begins pouring booze again, pouring goose. Sorry, Mr. Wolf. I was told to give you a summons.
Does Mr. Gold have a bout for me?
He says that you're untested, but he had a fighter drop out. He got the sickness, and so there's a spot open tonight, and he thought that you'd be a good fit if you want to make some extra coin. And he gives you a big smile.
I'll certainly try. Let's give me a moment, and when should I be there? When should I arrive?
Well, soon, like now.
Oh, very well. I will follow after you shortly. I just need to tell Sarah and my sweet girl goodbye.
Okay. And he turns around and begins walking out the door. I'll tell Gold you're on your way.
Oh boy.
Yes. And then you hear Thordum. Gold, grabber that bastard! And he throws the door open and runs out into the street. Marius, you're not mixed up with that bastard, are you? That fool!
Thordu, no. The only way I would get mixed up with him is to take his money.
Marius, halflings and Elgi, that's all I've been hearing from you lately. What has happened?
I know. I did kill those Elgi, though, didn't I?
So you say.
I did. Don't you worry. Several of them. All very, very crass creatures.
And he'll go back to drinking.
not nearly as honorable and glorious as the dwarf side.
That's my boy, Marius. That's my boy. He grabs himself a big mug. To the Jawi! And they're big. Big shout out to everybody. Clank the glasses. Tosses his beer back. And we'll leave you there for the moment. As I'm assuming, actually, do you have anything else you want to say to everyone else around before we skip over to Seamus?
I'll probably just say I don't know does Sarah know of my...
This would technically be your first fight.
Then I'd probably go over to Sarah if she's free at the time,
Yeah.
Is she used to me leaving in the middle of the night, I guess, or whatever this is?
Well, not usually, but I mean, if you had something to do, it's not like you're a married man. You've yet to make her honest.
That's true. That's true.
You're just living in the bed of sin above the bar, the thaggy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sigmar's not going to smite you for it. It's fine.
No.
So you, I'm assuming you find an opportunity to approach her.
Yeah.
Yes, Marius, are you okay?
My dear, I'm going to have to leave for the evening. I won't be back till later this evening. I might be a little bit worse for wear, but I promise you, it's for the good.
Please come
I'll finally
back.
be able to I will. Just, need to provide for you and my dear Priscilla there.
Marius, I told you not to worry about it. We're doing fine.
It's not fine.
Well,
I'll be back. And I kind of walk away quickly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And she kind of just, lets you go, doesn't try to hold you back. You open the doors and leave, making your way to Mr. Gold's. And we will...
I turn and give her a crooked smile before I leave and then close the door.
Of course you do. She
Yeah.
face blushes, a little flush in the cheeks. And then you turn around and leave. And now we will flip on over to Seamus. Seamus!
Yeah.
You've been riding for quite some time. You are at the gates to Sealburg. They are opened to you. What would you like to do?
Knowing Marius's hangout, his establishment, probably pop in and just check on him, check on those guys.
Okay. On your way there, taking the main road, as I said, evening is approaching very quickly. You are trotting along. There's the normal rabble about. There are a few ruffians about in the street that you've noticed. The city is not the bastion of wholesomeness that it was when you guys disappeared. It has grown to be a full-on actual town. And there are undesirables about occasionally, especially at night. The watch is busy, run by Old Man Otto himself. You see the odd guy on the corner kind of being shifty, kind of keeping an eye out. And make me a perception check, Seamus.
All right.
Ooh,
Can I approach that shady gentleman?
Sure, if you want to.
This is bad perception. I got a 90.
Do you want to re-roll it, or you want to just leave it?
Will I have to burn a fortune point to re-roll it?
Yes, you would.
I'll just leave it. I'll leave it.
Leave it. Okay, you leave it. You leave it. That's fine. So, do you want to approach the guy, the kind of shifty guy in the corner?
Yeah, let me approach the shifty guy.
Okay, he is standing just a building over from a very familiar site. Just within a few paces, you can be at the entrance to the Silk Canary. You can hear revelry and just merriment happening inside, as well as more than just simple merriment issuing from some of the upper levels of the 3-story building. It is the largest building in this side of town. Very well put together. And of course, there are the red lights issuing from the glass-paned full-size windows that have various women in provocative clothing prepositioning people walking by to come inside. And this guy is on the corner, not too far from it. So, are you on your horse, or are you getting off your horse?
I am on the horse.
Okay. So you begin kind of walking Rachel in that direction at just a mild, I believe it's called a canter. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know enough about horses. Regardless, so just a slow step.
Maybe a trot.
Trot. There we go. A trot. Slow trot towards the individual. And are you trying to do this on the sly, or are you just approaching him?
No, I'm just going to approach him.
Okay. As you approach him, you notice that he's just wearing kind of like filthy clothes, normal peasant, like dirty street urchin kind of looking. He is, however, probably in like his like mid-20s, maybe early 30s, somewhere in that range. It's hard to tell with all the dirt on his face. His eyes are kind of bug-eyed, and he's kind of looking around wildly. And as you approach with your horrible perception test, you don't see anything else, unfortunately. But you do see him lock eyes on you, and there's a moment of recognition. And he says, the headsman! And he darts into the alley behind him at a full sprint as fast as he can.
I will pick up my trots and get to the beginning of the alley, but not go down the alley.
Okay, so you trot on over there and you glance down, and you have lost sight of this man. He is long gone, and this alley is a little too thin for Rachel to move easily. It would be difficult to ride her through the alley. So if you wish to pursue, it would have to be on foot.
I will not pursue. I will make a mental note to myself that he booked it as soon as he saw me.
You did, and you did hear him kind of call out. Obviously recognizes you. Mm-hmm. Okay. The Silk Canary is right next to you, Seamus. Are you going to find Marius, or are you visiting one of your more vices?
As much as I want to find out some more information on this proprietor, Nicolette, I'm gonna go. I want to go look for Marius.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've talked to him.
Okay, so you making a note of what just happened. Very odd occurrence. You begin to canter off. A massive rat scampers out from underneath the from the alley in front of Rachel, and she kind of startles for a second. It's the size of like a small cat, and it runs off and it kind of hisses at you with its red beady eyes, and then runs out into the darkness. There are always rats in this part of town. There are even rats by the Thaggy occasionally, which is slightly unusual. There seems to be a rodent problem in Sealburg. But after that mild diversion, you begin heading toward the Thaggy, and on your way there, you cross paths with one Marius Wolf as he is walking in a similar direction with a furrowed brow and the look of a man on a mission.
Marius. Been a long time. I haven't seen you.
It's been a while, Seamus. Here you go by the headsman now.
How'd you hear about that?
How did you hear about that, Marius?
There's a lot of chatter at the Thaggy.
Speaking of, I just had a little encounter with a man who recognized me. A little shady folk. He was a bug-eyed man. Don't know if he's ever come into the Thaggy or not.
There's always unscrupulous individuals coming into the Thaggy. More so to the Silk Canary, den of iniquity.
Yes, that's that place brings in some money for this town, Marius. So,
don't worry. I've heard Helga has a #1 customer there.
Yes.
I don't like to play favorites, so I like to. I like to hit up a couple of the nests,
That's not what I hear. But let's I have an arrangement tonight, Seamus. Perhaps you'd like to come view.
What kind of arrangement you got there, Marius?
Unfortunately, as you know, I have a daughter, young Priscilla.
Yes. How's that going for you?
It could be better. The girl doesn't like me. Who can blame her? I was gone for 8 years.
I don't like you either.
Oh, that's not true. And I've I find it unacceptable her current living conditions. So I need a little extra coin. So unfortunately, I've had to succumb to possibly fighting on the behest of Mr. Gold.
Aye, Marius, Mr. Gold, Mr. Gold. I hope you know what you're doing there, Marius.
I don't. But I feel like I do. I feel like my adventures with you, my good friend, have taught me how to hit things hard. So hopefully it translates to the arena. I am going there now if you care to watch.
Of course, Marius. If there's money on the line, you know I'm interested.
Very true. Let's be off.
Okay. As you two begin to set off, I need perception checks from both of you.
Aji.
Ooh, roll again. That's an 89.
Oh, yes. How about you, Marius?
I rolled a 45 out of 40.
Okay. Do you want to make it a success?
I'll use I'll make it one success.
Okay.
Or a success. Yeah.
Just a success. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys begin making your way towards Mr. Gold's establishment, the main establishment. He has multiple establishments now. You're assuming it's the one where he showed you the fighting pit. You begin heading that way, and Seamus is just kind of, just following behind you, still mounted on his horse, letting you walk.
Yep.
Never offered to give you a ride. Nope.
I assumed.
Just following behind you. And Marius, you're despite your calm demeanor and trying to ready yourself, trying to be a man, trying to provide for your family. And you're glancing around, and as you're almost to Mr. Gold's, some time passes, quite some time actually. The lanterns about the streets are being lit by some of the, I'm just going to refer to them as lamplighters because I don't know the official title. There's just a couple guys that do it around town at night. They're lighting the lamps, and as one of them is lit nearby, just something catches your eye up on one of the rooftops. There's just like a humanoid shape for a moment, and then it's gone. Just a flash, a flicker, almost like a trick of the light. But you make a mental note of that, and I'm assuming you just keep moving towards Mr. Gold's.
Well, actually, I'd probably be like, there it is again. And I'd tell Seamus.
Okay.
The strangest thing happened to me today, Seamus. Was on my way home after my shift at the mine. And you wouldn't believe it, I felt like I fell through this puddle of water, and suddenly I was back in that blasted room that took us to that horrid place. There were men in robes chanting something and opening the door, and then they turned and looked at me, and then I was back in front of the thaggy. It was quite unsettling. I feel exhausted, but...
I don't say. No, that place was a pretty terrible place, Marius, so I think we all bring back some scars from that.
It's definitely possible. I do still have nightmares of that horrid place.
Well, it's in the past now. We're back home. I'm trying to get our lives back together.
Well said, friend. Let me take out my frustration on what poor soul that Gold will put in front of me.
Well, we'll see when we get there, Marius. He might put you up against that horrible beast he has in that room of his.
Oh, that would be a contest for sure.
That would. So I don't know who my money would be on that, Marius.
Oh,
As much as I like you, I know I don't like losing money either.
I remember slaying those ogres so easily in the poem.
I wouldn't say it was easy, but yes, we did do
They
it.
didn't even touch us.
You bastard. Oh. It's fine. It's fine. Rub it in. It's fine. Your fight just got harder. Oh. So I'm assuming you guys are at this point. You make it to Gold's during this conversation as you're walking.
Yeah.
You make it to the front of Gold's. It is well lit inside. There appears to be just business as normal. There are quite a few more people than normal inside. Seamus, you're going to have to tie your horse up out front if you so choose, or you can put Rachel wherever you'd like. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll hitch her somewhere if there's an area.
Yeah. There's actually there are kind of posts where horses can be tethered nearby. And you would actually know, Seamus, that Mr. Gold has his own private stables because he keeps horses and carriages for shipping purposes nearby. So he actually has a private stable nearby that he has allowed you to use from time to time because of your more interesting relationship that is developing between the two of you. So you could choose to put her there if you'd like, or you can just tie her up out front.
I'll put her in the stable. No one messes with her.
Okay, yeah, it's not very far. It's just a building or two over. You walk over there, and the building in between is a charred ruin of what used to be a bakery. It is there's nothing left, and apparently Gold is annexing the land and plans on expanding at some point. At least that's what you've heard, Seamus, as your conversations between them. Everything, of course, is above board. Nothing foul happened. Nobody burned that building out to get rid of its inhabitants. But regardless, so you move to the stable. Stable boy recognizes you, takes Rachel, and says he'll take care of her. And that is that. Are you guys both entering Mr. Gold's shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You throw open the doors, Marius. What kind of mood is Marius in as he enters the shop?
Probably tired and determined, I assume.
Okay. All right. A little haggard still, walking in. Throw the doors open, and there are a collection of people milling about, and they kind of glance over their shoulders at you. One of them whispers to the other one, a couple guys. And then you see farther back at the counter, you see there is a younger man. His head has been bandaged severely. There's just eyes and you can see the bottom jaw. And there's little red splatches on the bandages. And he kind of glances at you. Welcome to Mr. Gold's. Can I help you?
I'm here to go. I need to go downstairs, boy.
Downstairs, you say?
Yes.
Must have been a rat, I heard. And then he glances over your shoulder at Seamus. Oh, Mr. MacCready, are you here for the festivities?
That's that time, so coming in here just to kind of check out the scenery.
And as you finish saying that, you see a very worried Mr. Gold burst out of the back, out of the room that leads to the downstairs area, Where is that fool? Where? I summoned him an hour ago. Oh, by the gods, he's not going to show. I knew he didn't have a spine about him. And then he glances over. Oh, Mr. Wolf, there you are. There you are. Oh, right this way if you would. And
Mr. Gold, so good to see you. What was that mention of fool and spine?
Oh, nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Definitely not you, someone else. And he starts fiddling with the rings on his fingers. Right this way, right this way. I've got a fine opportunity for you.
I'm so excited.
Okay. You begin following Mr. Gold. Seamus, you've never been down here, but you kind of go into the back, and you've never been back into the store like this. But you're following Marius, and there are two large ogre bodyguards, like bouncers. Shirtless, of course, massive gut plate of just iron. And they are sitting next to this, they're sitting on comically small stools. And they each have like a large club at their sides. As they see Mr. Gold, they kind of chin up. They're kind of nasty looking mustaches and goatees, kind of just tickling the tops of their chest hair. And they sit up just a little bit straighter as he brushes past. And you follow in behind them. One of them really eyeballs you, Marius, like hardcore. Just kind of gives you a look over, and, as you walk past. You guys descend a set of stairs, and it gets dark quickly. There's not many lights on down here, and it appears to be a wine cellar, Seamus, until suddenly Mr. Gold presses something in the wall, and it opens up, and there's like a hidden door. And you move into the door, and there is a room inside that is very well lit. And there are lots of people in here, ton of people in here. There's probably 50, 60 people inside. All of them screaming and cheering and jeering each other. There's a few scantily clad women walking about with trays that have like beverages on them of various kinds. And there's a pale, what would I call this? There's almost like a, not thick, but almost like a layer of smoke in the air. And it is definitely not tobacco. It is something else entirely. There's just this haze about the room. And you see booths around the edge have been set up of what appears to be an arena. A fighting pit, as it was in the center of this room, where the patrons inside can glance down into the pit and see whatever bouts are happening. There's currently a fight happening at this very moment. What would you guys like to do?
Probably kind of... I would like to kind of just mingle my way in through the crowd and watch the fight somewhere.
Okay. And Marius, what are you doing?
Probably following Mr. Gold, I guess, a little bit.
Okay.
Where he's leading us.
And Mr. Gold leads you. Yeah, he leads you up to the pit itself. And as soon as you approach the pit, you hear bap, bap, whap, and you hear oh each time. You're like ooh, ah. And you get to the edge of the pit, and you see there's two men that are currently fighting, and one of them just gets hammered. His head goes sideways, and a tooth flies out, and he thumps into the sand that is that lines the bottom of this pit. It's a bare knuckle fight, of course. Both men, no shirts on, no shoes, no belts. Just pants and sweat and apparently blood, as this guy is bloodied very much so. The man he's fighting is just rippling muscles, a very haggard-looking, disgusting goatee, and that's pretty much what you recognize at the moment. but he knocks the guy out. He lays down flat and he stops moving. And a little bit of blood sputtums out of his mouth, and his eyes go into the back of his head, and he is stone cold out. Somebody jumps down into the ring. Another halfling, as it is just chance, perhaps, or perhaps by design. And he kind of shuffles over to the man laying down, leans down over him. Appears to be checking him to see if he's still alive. And he nods his head and then looks up, and Mr. Gold then, I see we have a winner! And they're like, ah! And a couple people are pissed. They're like, damn it! And throwing money and all, and people just, mixed feelings right now. I see no one can best Jimmy the Tooth. And as he says that, you look down, Marius, and you recognize him. He's a miner. Apparently, he moonlights as a pit fighter. And you glance down, and he smiles, and there's a single tooth in his mouth, just one, protruding from the top gum. And he's and he kind of flexes, does like a little pose, and yeah. And it's at this point, Mr. Gold starts like motioning for everyone to quiet down, quiet. But that is not the end of the festivities tonight, my friends. We have a new challenger. Who can best the tooth? Who can take the crown? How about? Do you have a name, Marius?
I believe it's Marius.
How about
Marius Wolf?
Marius the Drab? And he motions towards you, and some people are like, yeah, and then some people are like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? I don't know. Okay, and your motion to jump into the pit, remove your clothing.
All right, I guess I do so.
Okay,
and then,
I'm assuming you leave it up here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Seamus, watch my things, and I just kind of leave them there,
Okay.
and then I tie my hair behind my head,
Oh yeah, top knot or like man bun?
Ooh, let's go top knot.
Top knot. Okay,
knot.
top knot kind of
right.
fight. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Tie your silvered hair up above your head. And you hop on in barefoot. The sand crunches beneath. I'm not going to make you make an athletics test to see if you fall on your face.
Thank you.
I'll assume you don't. It's not that big of a jump. It's a couple feet down. It's about 3 or 4 feet down into the pit.
Yeah.
So you're still like your head is still above the actual pit itself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You're down there. You can see that the sweat glistening off Jimmy's body, Jimmy the Tooth. He has wraps around his knuckles that are bloodied, and he looks like he hasn't taken very much damage whatsoever in his bout tonight. And he looks like he's ready to go. He squares up with you.
Is he bigger than me?
He's bigger than you. He's
Impossible.
he's about 6 feet tall, and he looks ripped. Very now you.
More ripped than I am?
When and I'll say this: when you take your shirt off, some people are like, "Oh," because you wear that loose clothing.
Yeah, straight.
So you take that shirt off, and it's like, holy shit. A couple of the women serving beer, because I mean you are an attractive man. They're kind of couple little whimpers here and there as well. Maybe coming from a few men to bat.
Give them a nod.
Regardless, you get down in there, and he's in good shape. He's been throwing a pick just like Marius Wolf. So, we'll see how this goes.
Has he been killing beastmen? And
I don't know. You don't know what he's done. This is the Tooth, baby. The Tooth.
All right.
All right. So you square up with Jimmy.
I kind of, Jimmy, good to see you.
What's your name again? And as he says that, he throws a sucker punch in your direction that you're not ready for. So you don't get to defend yourself. And he clocks you. He clocks you straight across the face, dealing 8 damage.
8 damage.
8 damage. He hits you hard. Very, very hard. And now I need you to roll initiative.
All right. I can take my modifier, right?
Yes.
All right, initiative. Here we go. That would be 11.
Okay. So it looks like Jimmy is going first. So he cracks you across the jaw. Oh, you feel it. You have a toughness of 5, right? So yeah, you only took 3 wounds. It was a good hit. It was a solid hit.
Yeah.
And as that happens, he's like, and he sees that you don't immediately go down. He goes, we might have a proper fight on our hands, Gold. And now he's going to attempt to take your head off, Marius. So now you can attempt to defend yourself.
All right, I shall.
It's just because you don't have melee brawl. It's just straight weapon skill.
Yeah. Okay. -10.
-10.
Ooh, that's a 67 out of 41.
You want to re-roll?
No, I'll let it ride.
Okay. So so after that, you're kind of, you stagger back for a second, and then the other fist comes up under the jaw, boom, knocks your head back, dealing another 8 points of damage.
Ooh, damn.
You fall back, and then he has 2 fists. So he, instead of using his fists, though, he's going to attempt to lash out with his foot and take you in the kneecap.
All right.
Go ahead and roll for defense, sir.
58 out of 41.
Takes you in the knee, and your foot almost gives out. You take 6 points of damage this time. Right. And momentum is definitely going in the Tooth's favor. It is not looking good for Marius. And at this point, Seamus, you glance over, and there's a guy standing right next to you that is taking bets. And after this first couple seconds, people are just pouring in money on the Tooth. Oh, no. You just hear people calling out silvers, and even a gold piece is handed over to the guy. Would you like to place a bet, Seamus?
I will. I'll toss in a silver on Marius.
Just one?
Yeah, we'll just one right now.
Just one for now. You toss it. Marius. He's like, and he kind of grins slyly at you. Of course. And he tucks it away, and your bet has been placed. So, Marius, it is now your turn. You have been rocked with a series of blows.
I have.
What would you like to do? You're in the center of the ring. Teeth are a little bit loosened.
Oh no! I'd like to punch him.
Go ahead and strike out.
All right.
He's going to attempt to dodge your blow.
That is going to be a 34 out of 41.
Okay. 34, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he pulls his guard up to attempt to take the retaliation, and you strike him in his kind of left shoulder. Not a clean blow, but how much damage do you do?
That would be 7.
7. Ooh, yes, 7 damage as you connect with his shoulder, and he He flinches at that, unexpected at how powerful the blow was. You have a second fist, Marius. You can make another attack if you'd like. His momentum is gone now.
And I have one.
You will have one if you connect with your next attack, if you make one this turn. Or you can end it now and just have a 1 point of momentum.
It's minus 20 if I attack with the second fist, right?
For this, I'm just going to call it no. For brawling, I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be a straight roll.
Then yeah, I'll swing out with my second fist.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. That's going to be a 13 out of 51.
Oh man, that's a good solid hit. This time to the other arm. Boom. He still got his guard up, but he takes 2 hits and he flinches back. He's like, oh. And you hear him kind of clench his jaw, and he looks hurt. he does. He looks hurt already, taking 2 mighty blows from Marius Wolf. And he
10 damage.
10
damage,
yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes. He's hurting pretty good. He throws his arms out wide. And he's going to attempt to actually follow up with a knee to the solar plexus. You just roll defense, Marius.
All right. That's going to be a 26 out of 61.
You see the blow coming, and you bring both of your arms down and catch the knee. And as you do, he is going to move in to make a headbutt towards you. Go ahead and roll for defense again. Yes.
I'm currently at 3 success levels. Do I count that as another success level for blocking that one?
Okay, so you're technically have 2 now, not 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The series of blows only count as 1. That's the way I'm kind of doing it.
As 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then I'll roll again.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, shit. That's a 30 out of 61. Critical
he also...
No, it's not critical. That's not a critical success. No.
It's not a critical.
No.
Yeah.
He's not a critical. And unfortunately, I rolled a critical.
Oh!
22, baby. All right.
Oh, no.
So let's see. Let's get this crit table out, boys. Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh. Let's see what happens to Marius. Let's see what happens to his head.
I just lost money on you.
Okay. So the head connects with your nose, Marius. Firm. Crunch. Oh, you take 8 wounds. Bypasses your toughness. You just take 8 wounds. A massive blow. And in the process, you hear something crack, not break, but your nose splits and you are actively bleeding. You have a bleeding condition, just one.
Okay.
So blood flies up, and it could have been worse. I rolled really low on the table. And you kind of stumble back, and he looks very pleased with himself. He grins, and the single tooth just kind of wiggles there in his mouth. Thought you'd be more of a challenge, Wolf. And you hear gold down there. It seems the tooth has hit him with his reliable attack of devastation. And people are like, You're free to take your turn, Marius.
All right. I kind of reach up and like blow the blood out of my nose, like,
mm-hmm.
you know, and then I'm
assuming you're using
go for an attack.
resolve point to make your
Yes.
bleeding condition go away? Yeah, okay.
I am.
Oh.
All right, roll an attack.
Oh shit. That's a 22 out of
No, it is
41.
not. God damn it.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Roll a D100.
All right. 17.
Okay, roll one more.
Okay. Uh, 76.
Oh, Jesus. Oof. Okay. So here's what happens, Marius. You see, you see that after hearing that, you just get enraged. How dare this bumbling fool strike you? Broke your beautiful, exactly. Just the single tooth. How dare he split your nose open, your beautiful face, and you
beautiful face.
You whine back. And is this a punch or is this a knee? What is this?
Yeah, this is like a Muay Thai. It's like grab him by the back of the neck and just like launch up into his head.
Yeah, so you're moving in to attempt to deal a vicious blow, and he swings wide with a haymaker to kind of like defend himself. And as he does, you don't quite get the back of his head, but you get close enough. And as you bring the knee up, it cracks into his right shoulder, and you hear just a crunch as it pops out of socket. And he flies backwards, just stumbles back, and the arm is limp out of socket, just dangling next to him. He is barely standing. He looks very worse for wear. Would you like to follow up with another attack?
Yes, I would.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack.
Oh shit. That's an 11.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's a 1-1. That's a 1-1, sir.
You're cheating bastard.
I'm not cheating. It was 11.
Oh Jesus. Okay, well, how would you like to do this? How would you like to finish off Jimmy the Tooth?
I'd like to just kind of like run up if he's kind of dazed, and just like, does he have hair? Is he?
He has hair on the sides of his head, but it's bald on the top.
Okay, so I grab him, kind of like quickly run over there, like while he's kind of dazed, grab him by the back of the hair, and just take my right hand and like lift it up like axe handle style, and just go
Jesus.
crack right across his face.
His face?
Yeah, his face.
He's like 6 feet tall. He's taller than you.
Well, I'm gonna grab him look up at him and just go crack, just crack him in the face.
Okay. So you just, I mean, I don't know where Marius learned these moves, but he learned them somewhere. Yeah. He learned them somewhere. It's come intuitive somehow.
I learned it in Napone,
Yeah, you learned them in Napone from fighting those monks, maybe. And you just, it's like a knife hand.
They beat the shit out of us.
The axe hand across his face, and he just, his nose splits, even worse than yours. And he just, and he falls backwards. Are you trying to deal lethal damage to Jimmy the Tooth?
I'm trying to knock out his last tooth.
You did more than enough damage. As you crunch down, that last tooth just pop, flies out, smacks you across the face, just kind of hits you across the face, and lands in the dirt.
Is it a gold tooth?
It is not gold. It is just a regular nasty tooth. And he falls back. Boom. Out. And as he does, almost everyone is like, no! Except for Seamus, who bet some money on you.
What were the odds?
The odds were not good. The odds were not good. The odds were definitely not in your favor. But with that,
I raise my hands up.
you raise your hands up. Yeah.
Just go.
Scream out, and Mr. Gold is like, Mr. Gold looks a little taken aback. He's like, damn it! Well, it appears we have a winner! And yeah. So
I motioned to Mr. Gold, come down here, raise my hand, Mr. Gold, raise it.
I would care not to. And he just kind of glances about, and the other halfling, the kind of like that checked on the fight earlier, hops down into the ring, walks over to him, checks the guy, makes sure he's still breathing. He is. He's not dead, though he's missing his tooth. There's blood everywhere. And motions for a couple other guys to jump down in the ring and start dragging him away. What would you like to do, Marius?
I guess. Is the crowd really quiet? I guess just kind of each other.
They're kind of quieting down, waiting on the next match. A lot of them are just like baffled that you actually won, and a lot of people look really pissed off looking at you. You're getting a lot of very mean looks.
Seamus is gonna shout, who's next?
Oh shit! Oh, what do you say? Do you have anything to say to that, Marius?
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. And Mr. Gold's like, but of course there could be another challenger, Mr. Wolf. Make some more coin.
How much coin did I make, Mr. Gold?
It depends on performance, of course.
I beat your champion. He's over there.
You're still down in the pit? Like, are you going to get out of the pit and talk to him because he's up top?
I'm just yelling at him from the ring.
All right, and he's going to motion over to another guy. Who?
He bigger than me?
This guy is bigger than you as well.
Son of a bitch!
Jumps down into the ring. Boom! This guy's about 6'6". Looks like he's at least 250. Big guy. You're not exactly sure what his profession is, but he has a glass eye. And he's not wearing a shirt right now. It was already off. Apparently he's been waiting to jump in. And he's got kind of puffy-looking pants that, if you knew anything about the ocean, you would know sailors typically wear. And you've seen you get batches of, I would like to call them mercenary companies. Specifically, the last batch of mercenaries that passed through Sealburg on their way deeper into the Empire were ruffians from Sartosa, which you would know is a very well-renowned and infamous harbor for pirates. And this is a very large man that has seen a hard life pillaging at sea. And he has several gold teeth as he grins at you, Wolf. Are you going to accept this fight?
Can I take a short rest?
No. No, you cannot. He's in the pit with you right now.
Oh, God. No, I'm not going to take this fight.
Come on, Marius.
And as he sees you kind of start to lumber off, he's, oh, mate, of course you slink off. Finally get a proper fight. That toothless bastard you felled was nothing.
I stop on my way out. I turn around. Come on, then. And then I square up.
All right. Go ahead and... Everybody erupts, and Mr. Gold's like, yeah, yes, we have a fight on our hands. So roll me some initiative, Marius.
Oh, gee. All right.
Seamus, would you like to place a bet?
Yeah.
Who you betting on, Seamus?
Hey, who bet on Seamus?
I want to bet on my boy Marius.
Okay.
Yeah!
Let me put it like this. You just won 6 silver pieces
Oh, hell.
from your bet on Marius because he was supposed to not win that fight. He looks like shit now. If you put some money on him and he wins, you are likely to make some significant coin.
Yeah, I'll just bet another silver piece on there.
Just 1 silver? Okay.
Yeah, just 1 silver.
Okay, that's all the faith he has in you,
Cautious
Marius.
gambler. I know. Cautious gambler.
So,
I mean, to me, his nose looks broken, so he's gonna have some issues.
okay,
Does my
so
nose look broken?
I mean, dude, it's split. It's you took a critical hit, so it's probably going to scar.
It's gonna scar?
More than likely, unless you get some treatment for it.
Maris is very upset right now. He's starting to realize, like Seamus yells down, "Your nose looks broken." I'm so
okay.
Maris is so angry, just like pacing back and forth.
Okay.
Marius, you're ugly as fuck.
Oh, I am. Gold, you son of a bitch!
You son of a bitch. Let the fight begin! And
I just I started charging at this pirate.
Okay. What did you roll on initiative?
10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually get the first hit. Go ahead and roll an attack, sir. We'll see how you do against my Sartozan.
That's a 6 out of 41.
Oh, good hit. Straight to the jaw. How much damage is that?
That would be 11, I think.
Jesus,
No,
how strong are you?
10, maybe 10.
Oh my God!
I'm 6. I'm 6 strength plus my strike blow.
Oh yeah, and yep,
and then plus 3.
Yep,
success
yep,
levels.
that's right. Holy shit!
So it'd be 10
damage from a punch. Boom! Yeah. He's and his head turns to the side, and it looks like he wasn't expecting that hard of a hit, but he still looks pretty able-bodied. Do you want to follow it up?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and make me another attack.
Hit it with that combo.
That's a 4 out of 51.
Jesus! Are you kidding me?
So that would be 11 damage.
So you come in with another hit, another strike. This only counts as one success from here on.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't get 2 from the 2-hit combo. You get 1.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Boom, boom, you rock him. 2 hits to the face. Massive damage, and he stumbles back. Oh. And he clutches up at his face, just trying to steady himself. And Marius, give me a perception test.
You hear Seamus go, "Oh!"
That's gonna be a 14 out of 40.
Okay. All right.
Or 30. Sorry, 30
out of 30. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That changes things. Okay. All right, Marius.
Okay.
He rights himself and looks up at Gold, and Seamus, you see Mr. Gold give a nod. Just a nod to him. And the Sartozan smiles. You see all of his teeth flash. Sorry about this, boy. And he runs towards you and lashes out. I need you to defend yourself, Marius. At minus 20.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I can still use my plus 10, right? To offset it.
Yes, so you'll be at a minus 10, but
Minus 10.
you are exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Oh, fuck. That's a 1?
Oh.
What?
That's a number 1?
No, it is not.
Uh-oh.
Yes, it is.
You motherfucker.
What?
God
Well,
damn it!
that's a 1, sir.
Go ahead and roll me a
That's
D100, you piece of shit.
Very, very well. It's a 41.
Well. Oh, shit. So he comes charging at you, Marius. I mean, big guy. And he looks like you see his hand slip to his side. And you see, you're more perceptive, Seamus, and you got a bird's eye view. And you see just the glint of metal in his hand, Seamus. Marius doesn't see it. But Marius doesn't need to see it, because in this moment, when this guy's hand moves down, he sees an opening and just rocks him on the side of the head, hits his ear, and as soon as it impacts, you see the big man stumble and just go down at your feet. Just boom! Like a sack of rocks, just down for the count. There's blood spewing out of his ear, like his eardrum ruptured, and it appears to be like you've done significant damage to his head with how hard you just hit him. He might be dead, in fact, how much damage you just did.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But not only
like
that, well, hold on, Marius, you see in his right hand, there's a blade tucked between his fingers that he was going to stab you with. And it's just sitting in the dirt, and you see it for an instant, and then the halfling, comes down into the ring, shuffles over, and as he moves to check him, when he moves back, you don't see the blade anymore. We have a winner! Mr. Gold shouts out, and he looks pissed off. He looks very upset.
I want to try to intimidate the halfling that's in the ring.
Okay, what are you gonna say to him?
Punch him?
I walk over to the pirate.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab him by the back of his hair, kind of pull him up, and don't call me boy. I'm older than I look, and slam him down. And
how hard do you slam him?
20% Marius strength, you know?
Okay.
I'm not trying. I mean, if he's already dead, you know,
you don't know if he's dead or not. He doesn't look good.
Well, I'll slam him down relatively hard. Maybe his head bounces a little off the ground, you know?
Oh my god.
And I kind of loom over the halfling and say, "Don't let me catch you trying to kill me in this ring again, little guy."
Go ahead and roll him an intimidation check.
Okay, did I get any bonuses or anything for it?
Hell no, you don't get no bonuses for it. You're at minus 10, motherfucker, for your exhaustion.
All right. Let's see here. That's a 26 out of 50.
Gee, well, shit. Yeah, he looks scared. He's just, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And he's scrambling out of the ring as fast as he can.
Yeah, I want to lean down before he scrambles and just be like, "Run!"
Oh. Okay, Scar. he starts clambering out, and he disappears into the crowd. And people are fucking pissed around the edge of this ring, just irate, upset right now. Just like people, like one guy is just like he looks defeated. He's on his knees, and he's just like has his hands out, like I can't believe this just happened. Seamus, the the guy collecting bets by you, look, he's got the widest smile on his face that you've ever seen. He's just like just raking the money in. And Seamus, I'm assuming you're going to collect your winnings from him.
Oh yeah.
You walk over to him, and he's like, yeah, come here. And you walk up to him, and he hands you a gold piece, puts it in your hand. and you won a gold piece from a silver. Because that's how bad the odds were in Marius's Wolf's favor.
It's not bad.
Yes, you made a sizable sum. And with that, we're going to take our first break.